Yo, it's your boy Jay Best and your boy Logan McDougal, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 2, episode 6. On today's episode, we will be doing our Thursday night football reaction, followed by our week 2 reaction, and then we will see Logan's top 5 players in the league currently, and we'll end it with our week 3 picks. Of course, Logan, you ready to rock and roll?
Do it.
All right, but as always, we want to thank God for waking us up this morning, allowing us to talk about sports, which is something that we love to do. And without Him, we would not be here right now. So, Thursday night football between the 49ers and the Giants wasn't really a game, right? Now that we think about it, but we do have to talk about the dominance that the 49ers has been putting on every single team that they played, right? And like I said, I got front row seats to see that week 1. 30-12 was the final score between the 49ers and the Giants. Logan, what was your initial reaction from that game or just their dominance in general?
Um, they're not playing with their food. I mean, they're coming out. They had high expectations, and to compare them to a team like the Eagles, who also had high expectations, they've kind of had two sloppy wins to where the Niners have came out and punched their opponent in the mouth. And I think that comes to effect of coaching and kind of the ground and pound and attitude that they play on both sides of the ball. And currently, the only thing that is stopping them is themselves. From what it looks like, it doesn't seem like they can. Ain't no team going 16-0, but the way it's looking right now, if they don't shoot themselves in the foot, they're gonna have a chance to win every game that they play against anybody. They control the line of scrimmage, they take care of the football, and if you get down on that team and they're running the ball down your throat, with that offensive line, that fullback McCaffrey, Kittle, and that defense is knows you're throwing the ball, and those pass rushers are coming after you with Fred Warner back there too. Good luck. The Niners are good, and they are the real deal.
They are the real deal. I completely agree. I think tonight it was one of them games where I'm just better than you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna beat you. It was simple as that. The Giants don't have the formula to compete with a 49ers team, right? Just starting up front. I mean, Nick Bosa in the game was getting pressure on Daniel Jones the majority of the night. And when that happens, you can't beat this team.
No.
Right? I think adding Javon Hargrave is a big underrated move, right? I don't think we talk about it enough. I don't think media talks about it enough because they didn't have that big body in the middle before. You know what I'm saying? I think they lost it when DeForest Buckner left a couple years ago. They didn't have that big body in the middle, but now they have it, right? So good luck running the ball on them, and then good luck dropping back and passing the ball, right? But then offensively, man, McCaffrey, I hate to. This is a hard discussion for me on who's the best running back in the league. I think it's between two people, right? D. Henry and Christian McCaffrey, because both of them, like we said before, the offense goes through them, right? As they go, the offense goes, and for McCaffrey to be the number one option, and then Debo to be number two, I think you can argue that Brandon Ayuk is number three, and then George Kittle number four.
That's
Like,
terrible.
yes, that the like a top five tight end is your fourth option. You know what I'm saying? Most teams that have a top five tight end, that's their second option or their first option. That's your fourth. And for Brock Purdy to be playing the way that he's playing, I mean, this team, like you said, is already beaten. I don't regret my Super Bowl pick, right? Because I'm still sticking with the Eagles, right? I'm not going to get nervous yet, nothing like that. But the 49ers look good. They do. And then just looking at it roster wise, you know what I'm saying? They look complete. Like, where's the hole on this team? And I think that's what it comes down to at the end. And then we just don't. I think we give him a lot of credit because he deserves it. But Kyle Shanahan, like, he is just the puppet master. Because time and time again, I think we talk about it. Brock Purdy is not elite. Like I heard on the pregame show, Tony Gonzalez said that in a couple of years, Brock Purdy will be a top five quarterback. I don't think that talent wise, he's probably not even top 10. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Just pure talent. Yeah, no. But I think it's that scheme that Kyle Shanahan draws up that makes him look great.
Yeah. Well, and I think too with all those guys offensively in the scheme they run, um, they don't need a top tier guy in there. If you take care of the football and you're able to make passes to open receivers, and at the NFL scale, you will succeed in that offense. I think that's why a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo, who is a very good football player at quarterback, you know what you're going to get from him. He's a game manager. You're not gonna win because of him, but you're going to win with him. And they don't need a guy like Mahomes, Herbert. Like they don't need $50 million quarterbacks to win games. And that's a test to John Lynch, who's assembled this team, and Kyle
Yeah.
Shanahan running the show with everybody. Um, yeah, they're good. They can beat you in so many ways, which makes them so much more impressive.
Yeah, and I think last week we had the same conversation with the Eagles, right? How they can beat you in multiple ways, and I think that's what makes you a great team. Not a good team, but a great team. You know, whenever because most teams you take away their strength and they don't know what to do, right? Like if the Titans can't run the football, then they're screwed.
Mm.
Teams like that, like the Browns, if they can't run the football, then they're screwed. But if the 49ers can't run the football, Brock Purdy not necessarily going to drop back 50 times and beat you, but he has the weapons around him, right? Like I said, he has three number one options at the receiver position.
Yeah,
If Brett
and
not you, not so much. Go ahead.
got the best fullback in football too. That is a quiet gem that he
Yeah,
can block tight end, run routes just as good um, as a tight end as well, and can also run the football. And Kyle Shanahan uses him in so many ways to open up other guys as well. And then if he's not there, he will make you pay. And that's just another thing that they have at their luxury. It's just they got everything.
yeah. One thing about Kyle Juszczyk is that he shows up in the big games. Right. You don't necessarily see him throughout the year making noise. When they get to the playoffs, they're gonna utilize him.
Oh yeah,
You know, and that's just another option that they have. And then defensively, like I said, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave. This team is deep and this team is loaded. And to top it off, they have, to me, not the best. I wouldn't say the best coach in the league, but the best play caller in the league, hands down. And I think it's a gap. Well, Sean McVay is close, right? I think Matt LaFleur when Aaron Rodgers was there was close, but I think it's between him and McVay, and I'm taking Kyle by a mile.
and Andy Reid. You got to throw Andy Reid in there.
Andy Reid. I apologize, Andy Reid. I knew I was forgetting somebody in the AFC. Andy Reid. But to me, Andy has the luxury of Mahomes, right? Not saying that he's only a good play caller because he has Mahomes, but he still has that top five, the best QB in the league. He has that luxury. Kyle
Yeah,
Shanahan don't.
but I mean, any quarterback Andy Reid's had, I mean, he's put up numbers with anybody. Whether that's Eagles or whether that's with him and Alex Smith or even when Chad Henne has said to play a playoff game, he still put up good numbers. So
Yeah,
yes, at Mahomes, but Andy Reid is still an amazing play caller.
yeah, no doubt. Like I said, not taking nothing from him. I just think that could you imagine Kyle with the Mahomes caliber player?
That wouldn't be fair.
It wouldn't see what I'm saying, it wouldn't be fair. Like Andy Reid's a great play caller, no doubt. But he still just has that luxury, right? When the play breaks down, he has Mahomes that's gonna make a play.
Yep.
When the play break down for the 49ers, I'm not saying Brock can't do it, but what's the chances of him doing it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to our week two reaction. Logan, tell me, we're 2 weeks into the season. Week three started tonight, right? Headed into week three. How do you feel so far? What's your reaction to week two?
Um, I know I'm a Texans fan, so it's rough, but thank God I'm not a Chargers fan.
Man,
Because I picked them this past week strictly because I'm sitting there thinking I was like, this is another game they should win, and they just don't. Like they find ways to not win, and it's shocking,
very,
and it's frustrating for me because I like you got all those guys, and you're just coming out 7, 8 wins, maybe making playoffs, and then getting upset in Jacksonville. Like I don't know what to think of the Chargers because I mean they looks like they can lose to any team, but we all know that they can beat any team.
they can beat any team. Yes, yeah,
Because I mean with their quarterback and their defensive talent, I mean they're up there roster wise with anyone. Like if someone were to say the Chargers went into San Francisco and they beat them, I'd say okay, they probably played a good game. Like that's not
yeah.
something
I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah,
like it's and then now Tennessee like they're good. Like Vrabel, they are good. Like they have good defense. They run the ball. If you turn the ball over too much, they will beat you. But I mean, that's 2 games already. 0-2 start to the Chargers, and they play the Bengals, 2 teams that are 0-2. One of those teams is starting 0-3,
Yeah.
and that's crazy. Next thing, the Dolphins. Um, I was not high on them because I wanted to see kind of Tua play a full season. Not because I don't think he can. He just hadn't shown it yet. Um, if Tua is healthy, this team can beat anybody. Vic Fangio on that defense, or Ramsey coming back later in the year. The Dolphins are legit, and they're going to be scary. You're going to have to run the football late in the year when it gets cold, but still, with their ability to use the motion to set up the run. And at the end of the day, you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle at receiver, and your running backs still run a 4-2. And you have Tua, who, when he's protected, he's probably one of, if not the most accurate quarterback in the league whenever he gets to plant his feet. Um, Dolphins are legit. We talk about the Chiefs all the time, and we'd be talking about Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes. Their defense with Chris Jones is
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah.
Legit. And last year, they normally start playing good defense later in the year, which they finished the year off last year pretty good. Their first game against the Lions, who I'm very high on offensively, they played a good game without their best player. And they come out in Jacksonville, who, I said on 17, and I think that's why they lost this game, and that's why I didn't have them winning. That defense dominated from start to finish. Physical, their linebacking play is tremendous, and if they get that secondary going and those rookies keep improving, Mahomes isn't going to have to score 28 every game the way that defense has looked so far. Another team that I did not have making the playoffs, which I feel a little dumb now, is the New Orleans Saints. That's another team. That defense is hunting. Now, they haven't played anybody great yet.
Yeah.
They found a way to beat the Titans, but the Titans are hard out no matter who they're playing. And they beat Carolina, who I'm not high on, but they have still defensive talent. When they get Alvin Kamara back, and if that O-line improves, they got a good tight end room. Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams when he comes back. Chris Olave, Michael Thomas looks like he's back. And the Shaheed, I think, younger guy. And then that defense with Derek Carr. If Derek Carr takes care of the football and that offense gets going, nobody's going to want to play them. And
Yeah.
then because their defense is made up of all matchup based, because they can stuff the run. They got 2 good linebackers. Warner's more of a zone coverage guy, fly around, and Demario Davis is there to fit the run. They got Marshawn Lattimore to cover your best guy, and they got Tyrann Mathieu and May in the back. They got dudes all over the place, and they're not scared to send the house too and blitz you. And then the last thing, I have to say it. If you're a Texans fan and you're watching this, it's going to be a longer year than I expected. And I'm not trying to find excuses for us. You lose your projected 4 starting offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Your 2 starting safeties that are arguably your best defenders, and now our best young corner, Stingley, just got put on IR. And we were already a bad team. This ain't looking good. But Will Anderson and CJ Stroud are looking like the real deal.
No doubt.
CJ is playing behind no O-line. There's no running. Damian Pierce cannot run the ball because our O-line has been playing atrocious.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud is putting up insane numbers. Garbage time because we're losing, obviously. But you can also say in garbage time, they know you're throwing the ball, and they've still not been able to stop it to a T. And he's not playing with that highly talented of a receiving core either. Because from what I was looking at this year, I was expecting a run-first offense. We're going to run the ball, take care of the football, not throw the ball that much because of our weapons, to where it's now completely opposite because we can't run the ball at all. And I think CJ is looking better than I thought he would. And then Will Anderson's looking like a beast. His motor, his ability to get to the quarterback, and everybody knows he's our best pass rusher, and he's still getting there as a rookie. I think we can have high hopes in the future, knowing that those 2 guys are set in stone corner pieces. But that injury bug in Houston is bad, real bad, and it's just I mean, you tie in two safeties who Jimmy Ward should play. So two safeties, a corner. That's three defensive starters. And then you have four starting offense. That's seven starters on your team. Seven
Yeah. How can you win like that, right?
on any team. If you
Yeah.
randomly team, you go, I'm going to take seven starters away from you. Good luck.
Oh yeah, they're out of luck. Yeah. No matter
And
who it is.
good luck. So I just hope we can get to a point to where at the end of the year we're healthy and we're playing good ball and roll it into next year. But we can't stay healthy, and it's frustrating.
I got you. And actually, the injury bug is not just a Houston problem; it's an NFL problem. Like this year, the amount of injuries that I've seen and heard of is like no other season. Like I can't. Two teams season is over because of injuries. The Jets, like Aaron Rodgers talking about coming back for the playoffs. There will be no playoffs. Okay, your offense is just not good enough, right? People want to talk about how good the defense was supposed to be going to the Dallas game, but you got to realize Dak had great field position the whole entire game because your offense can't move the ball. All right, so that's one. And then the Browns, it's over with. I can't, and it's because Deshaun is not who we thought he would be, right, anymore. Man, I miss Houston Deshaun. I
Yeah.
miss him so much because that you could make an argument, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this that he was better than Mahomes. And I'm gonna
Oh,
tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Wait,
oh,
wait, wait, slow down, slow down. Wait, slow down, slow down. I say you can make an argument. I'm not making that a statement, but the argument is Deshaun, even post DeAndre Hopkins, was still putting up great numbers with nothing. He
we
had
won four,
nothing. You know that. Say it again.
won 4 games that year.
Numbers, not wins. You
Game.
can't win what you don't have. You said what?
We're losing every game, and he was throwing 50 times just so we can compete.
Okay, but do you not see he didn't have Travis Kelce? Is basically what I'm saying. Mahomes, for his whole entire career, has had arguably one of the most dangerous targets to ever play football,
Yes.
only because of his ability to get open. Correct?
Deshaun,
You agree?
Sean had D Hop and Will Fuller. When they were both on the field, I think the stat is something like they averaged close to 30 points a game. But even then, he not. I mean that was the same year, same time. Mahomes his first year came out and threw 50 touchdowns and won MVP.
No, I'm telling you,
I'm to
I'm
the
not gonna
point.
sit here and bet that Deshaun was better. No. I'm saying you can just make the argument. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I, I I agree with you because Deshaun was trying to catch him, and he was looking like he was a top 5 quarterback at certain times in Houston.
Yes, no
But
doubt.
just for the sake of the rest of this show, and we do this, nobody's on Mahomes' level. There's Mahomes, and there's everybody else. And I'm tired of people trying to say, "Oh, Trevor Lawrence, he's looking like he can be Mahomes." Like, no, like Joe Burrow, no, like Justin Hurt, no. There's Mahomes, and there's everybody else.
Yeah,
There's
there
no
is no.
that
Yeah,
is
there's no young QB that is even close to Mahomes, no doubt. My only argument the past couple years has been put respect on Aaron Rodgers' name. That's all I've said.
no, and no
To
doubt. He's
Yeah.
but it's still there's not the same. There's Mahomes and there's everybody else. Like there's tiers. There's Mahomes tier and then there's everybody else.
So what about during that time period when A Rod won back to back MVPs, right? So before last season, right? So I'm talking about the 2021 season, I think 2020 and 2021. It was Mahomes, A Rod, then everyone else. Correct.
Yep.
Yes, but now of course because of last year, I mean I don't let one year just ruin your reputation, right? But you can argue that because of last year, this year we don't count. But because of last year, there's been a little separation made between Mahomes and A Rod.
Well, even Brady with the Bucks, whenever they won the Super Bowl. But I mean, if you look at whenever Mahomes was a starter, and you look at that time till now, from what he's done, nobody's close. You look at stats, you look at accolades, you look at rings, like it's Mahomes. And then if you try and nitpick, okay, he's had Kelsey, he's had Tyreek, he's had blah blah blah. last year, many people were low on the Chiefs. Oh, Tyreek's gone. They only
Yeah,
have Travis Kelsey. They're just going to double team Travis, and then they're not going to do much. And some people were saying they won't even make the playoffs. Um, and then he goes out there, wins MVP, wins a Super Bowl.
yeah.
Um,
Last year was a huge statement year.
and then Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow started getting okay. Well, Joe's close to Pat, and that's what we're starting to get at now. Is we're saying okay, who's going to be the next? Who's going to go and compete with Pat to say he's the best? To where we had A Rod for a year, and then we had Joe Burrow, and at times we have Josh Allen. Yet everybody's looking up to Mahomes,
Yeah, I
and
give you that.
that
Yeah,
is
I give you that.
so. Like anytime anyone says that they would rather have someone else, I just flat out disagree and think he's on a whole nother level.
Yeah. So what I was saying, you said you was tired of people trying to say Trevor Lawrence got next and Joe Burrow got next, et cetera, et cetera. The only person I've ever said is close to Mahomes or Mahomes has barely passed him is Aaron Rodgers. And that's just because I can sit here and say in the past 3 seasons, A Rod got 2 MVPs. Mahomes got one. You know what I'm saying? I can throw that argument out there, but Mahomes got the ultimate goal, which is the Super Bowl.
And Super Bowl MVP, so he
Which
technically
A-Rod, exactly, which A-Rod couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I got you. I've never ever said that nobody else is close to that level. So I agree with you 100%. But yeah, this conversation started with the Browns. The Brown season is done, dead. It's over with. I don't see this team being successful without Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb. When you think about the Browns, you think about them running the ball, and not just them running the ball, but having the elite running back to run the ball. You know, like the Eagles, they have a stable of running backs. You know what I'm saying? So you fear the run game, but when you look at teams like Tennessee and Cleveland, you're going to fully commit to the run game because of the elite talent of Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. So because the Browns lost their identity, I just don't see them being successful the rest of the year. I'm not saying they will have a terrible record, but they'll win a couple games because the defense looks pretty good. I saw them, like I said, up and close and personal the other night. The defense looks pretty good. But without Nick Chubb, I just don't see his offense being the same. And
yeah,
then, so injuries have definitely. I know you heard Chauncey Gardner Johnson might be out for the season. I think he is out for the season
yeah.
with
And
a torn pec for the Lions.
you also have Trayvon Diggs for the Cowboys towards.
Trayvon Diggs, it just happened today, right? Trayvon Diggs, torn ACL. Like injuries have been killing everybody. You've had the worst of it, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? But the injuries this year, man, that's why I say turn off the injuries for 1 year. You know, you play Madden, you can turn the injuries off. I wish for 1 year we could just turn the injuries off. And that's one thing I wanted to talk about. Your week 2 reaction, I agree with everything. I think the Dolphins is dangerous. All right, I'm gonna wait a little bit longer because to hop on that train because they played the Chargers, who you and me. Once again, the ceiling is there for the Chargers, right? But the floor is so low,
Yep.
and we see it because of the coaching, right? So that was their week 1 opponent. Then week 2 was the Patriots, who to me is not a bad team because they
No.
hung in there with the Dolphins, right? They hung in there with the Eagles. They just don't have enough, right? They're one of them teams that's like 2 elite players away from being competitive. Like they're already competitive, but you know what I'm saying? To really compete, they're like 2 good players away. So I'm gonna wait a little bit with the Dolphins. But your point with the Chargers, you were spot on, man. Brandon gotta go. Like now. Like last week when you made your pick, I just smelt the blood. You was worried. You was worried. And at face value, just looking at the teams, you would say the Chargers are a better team than the Titans.
Oh, no doubt. Not even close.
Right? Not even close. But then you say which team is more well coached, you gonna say the Titans, not even close.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes in this game, yes, we love the elite players, we love the big plays, we love that, but sometimes it does come down to coaching,
Yep.
right? You need a good coach in this league. I'll never forget Max Kellerman, who used to be on First Take, work ESPN. He said basketball is a players' league. I'm sorry, the NBA is a players' league, right? You got to have the best players to win. Baseball is a manager league. Got the best manager. And they said the NFL is a coaching league. You got to have a good coach to be successful. And that is a prime example right there. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't got a good coach, then it's nothing. So yeah, that's our week 2 reaction. And Logan, This is Logan's new segment, y'all. He has a segment now. It's gonna be Logan's current top five teams. So every week he's gonna give us his top five teams currently. Okay, so this is not for the rest of the season. This is at this moment in time. Who is his top five teams? Logan, go ahead and give it to me.
So we'll go bottom up. So at number 5, with this bullet here, with the Trayvon Diggs injury, I think that is huge. Um, just how they play defense. I mean, they still have talent everywhere, which we'll see how they play against a really good team. But they've taken care of business so far. No game has been close. I have the Cowboys at number 5. In front of them, I have the Dolphins, another team that is taking care of business. They beat a Chargers team that we talked about, has really high ceiling, really low. They got talent everywhere. Um, that's a win that they went out and got. And then the Patriots, they handled business from the get go. I don't think that score represents that game very well. Um, yeah, in this one, it's kind of between two teams. Kind of trying to look at it now, and I think I might switch it up. Yeah, so we'll go the Eagles number 3. They have some holes that I think are pretty significant. I think their offense without Steichen looks a little what's the word?
Slow, a little slower.
Rusty, but it's not smooth yet. And offense
Right.
takes a little going. But right now I have them at 3, and their secondary doesn't look too great, even with two good corners. I think their linebacking play and safety, if you're able to get behind that D line, I think that's when the Minnesota Vikings had success, and that's how they were able to stay close and win that, or get close to win that game or have a chance. And then number 2, I have the Chiefs. They almost beat the Lions, who I think is a very good team. Without their two, other than Pat, obviously, without their two best players, and those two guys are game changers on both sides of the ball. And then when we sit and watch that game, how I brought up their defense, Jacksonville and Kansas City, I don't think we were expecting that score by the end of the game.
I wanted
Uh,
a shootout. That's what
and
I
I,
want.
I think that attests more to how good the Chiefs can be than how bad the offense looked. Because, like I said, it takes a while to get going. But I mean, that defense took care of a very talented offense with a very talented quarterback and a very talented play caller. So I have the Chiefs at 2, and then number 1, the Niners, my Super Bowl pick. Um, they're too good, top to bottom, roster wise. I mean, they're not even like it is ridiculous. They have the best left tackle in the league, who's arguably the best tackle in all of football. They have arguably the best running back in football. Um, they have the second best tight end. Some people might say they'd rather prefer him just because he can block. They have the best fullback. They have the two best receivers, yards after catch in the league. And
Mm-hmm.
then defense, they have the best middle linebacker. They have the reigning defensive player of the year. They got Eric Armstead, and then they have what's his name from the Eagles? Well, you just named. You just said his name,
Devon Hargrave.
Devon Hargrave, and you still have Greenlaw, and then Tre'Davious Ward, and then the safety from last year, and then Deshaun Gibson, who's been a league. I mean, they're nuts. So I think having, I mean, that's it. I mean, it's a safe number 1. I think they're. I'm very high on them. I have before the year, and will be even if they lose 3 straight because of who their coach is and what their roster looks like. And then I hope they stay healthy. I think health with one of those key guys going down is going to be the only thing that could come in their way. So knock on wood, hope that does not happen. And their division's not very. The Rams look better than we expected, but the Seahawks are kind of the Seahawks win games they shouldn't sometimes and lose games they shouldn't. I mean they'll be competitive, and then but nobody in there is scary. At least in the NFC East, you can say you got two teams in there going at it, but I mean that's the Niners division, and they're going to run away with it pretty quick.
Yeah, that's a good top five. I wouldn't. I think you putting the Cowboys at 5 is gonna throw a lot of people off, but it's because of that Trevon Diggs injury, right?
Yeah,
And
I had them at probably 4, so only up a spot. I'd probably flip flop them in Miami, so not too much of a drop, but I think that Trayvon, because their secondary isn't the that defense is good because of their pass rush and their speed. Um, up front with Micah and Demarcus Lawrence, and then Mozzie Smith and those linebackers and those safeties coming down so fast. So I think if that liability now at corner that they have, I think that's going to get them in some trouble against those top tier teams like the Eagles, who now will have a matchup problem. So I'm interested to see how they match up against the Eagles, because I think the Eagles now hold that advantage in their matchup now, to where I was leaning more towards Dallas. But yeah, have them at 5. Pretty much flip flop the Dolphins with them because of that injury.
Yeah, that Trevon Diggs injury. I think if you had to choose one star on the defense to get hurt, like just for conversation, I think Trevon Diggs is one of the best answers you can give. Like nobody would give up Michael Parsons. Like that is the driving force, the heart and soul of your defense, right? And you can argue between Trevon Diggs and Gilmore, but to your point, that pass rush is so elite, right? That losing Trevon Diggs is huge, without a doubt, because he's a playmaker in that secondary. But I think it's something that they can kind of adjust to, only because they have that pass rush ability. Like they didn't have that great D line, then it would be a huge problem, right? Like this is a problem, but I don't think it's season change. I don't think it's a season changing problem, right? I still think they're gonna get where we both have them getting to, and that's what maybe wild card divisional round, right? Even with a healthy Trevon Diggs. So I do think that this injury hit them hard, but not as hard as I think people are gonna make it out to be. Do you agree?
Kinda, because I mean, I think Trayvon. I don't think he's the best corner, but I mean, he's up there with the best. That's why he's got paid, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
not because of his coverage skills, but his ability to, his knack for the football is. I'll say maybe Xavier Howard, because he's led the league in picks, but I mean, at the corner position, I mean, it's pretty much second to none the last couple of years. Like it's like you. I mean, he was a receiver in college. I feel like everyone knows that story by now at
yeah,
Alabama, and Nick switched him over to corner. I mean, his ability to turn the ball over, and I think those extra possessions are going to handicap them against when they start playing high level teams. Because I thought originally that they would only that they could reach the Super Bowl if they didn't have to face the Eagles or the Niners somehow. I don't know how that would happen, but those are the only two teams I thought were better than them. Now looking at it though, I mean, I could see them making the playoffs, and if they have a mismatch on secondary and the opponent like say the Detroit Lions, right? Say they match up with the Lions first round, and the Lions have a good offensive line, and they have Jameson Williams, Amon Ra, Laporte, like Jameer Gitt, like they got dudes too on offense. I think that could be. Now you flip it over, I think Dallas wins that matchup, but um, I think it handicaps their ceiling, because now I don't think they have a good chance to make a deep playoff run, because those two corners lock that defense together pretty good. Um, but I mean, we'll see. What can go wrong will go wrong in Dallas.
yeah.
Um, I
They did. They
I
did
wish
for that.
I don't want anyone to get hurt in the league at all, and that's not what I mean by that statement. But in games that they should win, they will still find a way to lose. Hope he makes a speedy recovery, but they'll be fine in the regular season. They're going to beat up on the Commanders are looking good, but they'll be fine in the division for the most part. They'll probably still split with the Eagles, just because those games are always competitive. But once it gets playoff picture, I think they might be in some trouble in the back end.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, what you said was what can go wrong will go wrong. Cowboys fans, don't get mad at him, because he said the same thing about the Jets when he said the Jets are the Jets, and look what happened opening night in New York. You know what I'm saying? So Logan, I can just say you're jinxing these teams a little bit, my man.
No,
I need you to stop, because that's two teams that you basically said what can go wrong will go wrong, and something went wrong within the first 2 weeks.
okay. Just so this narrative's not out there, it's just like when people like fantasy football, you draft people with injury prone or whatever. I'm not a believer in fantasy purposes of not drafting a guy because he was banged up. Like injuries are so unpredictable. Like anyone can get hurt on any snap. We saw with Aaron Trayvon at practice. Like anyone who's played football, no, it takes one tackle and you land the wrong way and you get hurt.
No doubt.
so unpredictable. So I don't want you saying I jinxed nobody for
But
saying.
it's just funny how the two teams that you said basically what can't go wrong will go wrong lost two star players. I'm just saying
Mm,
it's just a little weird to me. I don't know what you got going on. You know, you got a little crystal ball over there or something. But
none of that.
ooh, now let's let's go ahead and get to one of my favorite segments, our picks of the week. Okay, our week 3 picks. As of right now, Logan McDougal is he's beating me a little bit, just a little bit. He is up right now, 26-7, right, and I am 20-13. For those of y'all that don't really do math too well, I'm like 6 games behind them. You know what I'm saying? So that I can catch up in 1 week. You know what I'm saying? So don't really get too comfortable over there. But
Okay.
let's go ahead and get this done real quick and make our picks for the week. We both picked the 49ers, so I think that was a no-brainer. The Titans and the Browns, I think it's a no-brainer. What you think?
I got Tennessee. I don't like that offense without Chubb, like you were saying earlier. They got Kareem Hunt. I think he'll fill that void, but he's still not Nick Chubb. Um, if the only way the Titans lose, in my opinion, is if they turn the ball over too much. If they lose the turnover battle, they will lose. If they win, they will win. And I think Vrabel knows that. I think it will be a very low scoring game. Um, I got the Titans winning this one.
Yeah, this would have been a battle of the running backs if Nick Chubb was still here, but unfortunately, he went down with that terrible injury. But nah, man, Derrick Henry, I think he's gonna take this game over, and I think this is gonna be the King Henry show, not degrading the Browns defense at all, right? But I just think Derrick Henry can get busy on any defense in the league. I think we both know that, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Titans on that one as well. Next, we got two teams that you actually like, Logan. We got the Falcons and the Lions. Who you gonna pick?
Yeah, I love the Falcons this year, and I'm glad I'm high on them because what I thought they would be is kind of turning into fruition a little bit. But um, I'm going Detroit here. I don't think they're losing 2 straight games at home. I think they got a bitter taste from last week. I wanted them to win that game so bad,
Yeah.
and I think they're going to come in here with a good mindset um, to win this game. No other than I don't think they're winning or losing 2 straight games at home. And this is the first Atlanta road game, so we'll see what they're like whenever they go into Detroit. But I'm taking Dan Campbell and them boys in Detroit.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Wait, sometimes in sports in general, right, what happened the previous game can determine what happens this game. And what I'm saying is the way they lost that game in overtime, I'm pretty sure they filled up and they're ready to take the frustration out on who's next, and that's Atlanta, right? So the previous week sometimes have a lot to do with the current week. So because what happened last week, I'm going with the Lions, and they lost in a dramatic fashion to the Seahawks, and they had actually, and I thought they was gonna really win that game like prior to overtime, but they ended up going to overtime. It didn't go their way. I think this week they get it together, and Dan Campbell and them boys, like you said, will get the job done. Next we got the Saints and the Packers. Who you got?
I really like the Saints this year, but I also think the Packers have played very well, and they easily could have won that game against Atlanta. They got a couple injuries too, so we'll see with David Bakhtiari and Aaron Jones. But right now, I'm going to go Green Bay. First game at home. That place is electric. Um, and then I like Green Bay's defense. If they take Jordan Love's been playing good. I'll take Green Bay at home. Their first game at home this year.
Yeah, I like what I've been seeing from Jordan Love, right? But this is the first real test, in my opinion. You know, you played the Bears week 1, you played Atlanta, who's improved on defense, right? But it's not near the elite defenses. But then you got the Saints, right? Which what we just discussed a while ago. They're an elite defense, right? It's the first big, so this is the first big test to me for Jordan Love, and I don't see that going too well. Like I said, not hate on the Packers, but I think this is one of the matchup problems, right? Who does he have on the outside that can really? Because Christian Watson is questionable, I believe,
Yeah, and
right?
that's if he plays, I like the chances. But I mean, if Watson, Bakhtiari, and Aaron Jones, if those three are out, I would favor towards the Saints. But I'm hoping that they play, and that's why I'm picking Green Bay.
Blah blah blah. Whatever, guys. He's picking Green Bay because he said that's gonna be the first game at home. That place gonna be electric, and he is
Yep.
sold on Jordan Love. That is his reason. Don't be trying to throw the injuries in there. You pick the Packers. I'm picking the Saints.
Mm.
Don't be. You're not slick, Logan. I'm not letting you get away with nothing on this show. I hope you know that.
That's how I view it.
I know you a little bit too well. Okay, the Broncos and the Dolphins. No brainer, right?
Yes, the Broncos defenses look horrible. Um, I think the Dolphins D line is going to get after Russ. I got Dolphins here.
Yeah. I was tempted to go with the Broncos in this game only because I feel like their backs against the wall. You go 0-3. I think
Pick
you're
up
done.
do it.
I mean, I really should, right? This is a must-win game for Sean Payton and Russ. This new look Broncos team with a new head coach, right? I'm going. Quit looking at me like that. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. Okay, I'm not finna do that to
No
myself.
fun. That's no fun.
It is. It's no fun for you, okay? Because you want to see me fail as usual. Chargers and the Vikings. Go ahead and pick your man, Brandon.
Minnesota.
Oh, you
Uh,
learned your lesson last week, huh?
yeah, I'm kind of
Yeah.
done with it, unless they prove me otherwise. But I also I was low on the Vikings defense. I don't think they have personnel. But I totally forgot they got Brian Flores as their defensive coordinator. And that dude's legit. I mean, he knows ball. He is a great defensive coach.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm expecting him to win that matchup against Kellen Moore a little bit. Um, and that Vikings offense is if they he Kirk Cousins is another guy. If he's able to get his feet set, he is going to pick you apart. Very accurate quarterback, or to Tua. And wow, weapons. T.J. Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Addison,
Weapons.
and K.J. Osborne. Whoa.
Whoa. Weapons.
I think the Chargers start 0-3, and then Staley's seat gets real hot. Um, that's crazy to think one of these two teams are going to be 0-3.
It is. And this is another one I struggle because at first I picked the Vikings, right? Like last week I picked the Titans. This week I picked the Vikings. But once again, it's the team that just can't go 0-3. This team is too talented to not be in the playoff conversation come the end of the season. They can't lose this game, Logan. They can't. And because they're back against the wall, right? Last week was more of I think, a coaching mismatch, right? Where I like Vrabel way more than I like Brandon Staley. Nothing's wrong with Kevin O'Connell, right? I don't think he's a bad coach, but I don't think that the coaching matchup, I don't think it's that big of a gap. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a chance. I gotta take a chance, Logan. If I don't take a chance, I'm never gonna catch you in these in the record. You know what I'm saying, for these picks. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I don't like them. I don't like Brandon Staley, but I think Justin Herbert is gonna show us why we paid him all that money. He has to. The Vikings defense is not that good. Great defensive coordinator, right? And he did coach the Steelers last year, but just saying, had to throw that in there. Justin Herbert is gonna go in there. It's gonna be a shootout. It's going to be. I know last week we said Trevor Lawrence and Mahomes was gonna be a shootout, but we said that because of the quarterbacks, right?
Yep.
This week, we're saying it's going to be a shootout because both defenses has proven they can't stop nobody.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be a shootout, and Justin Herbert has to win. He has to. This is a must-win game, right? Not just for the season, but I didn't pay you to go 0-3. You need to step up, make some plays, show us that you are that top five talent-wise, talented QB. Go win a game in Minnesota. I'm going with the Chargers.
Okay.
Got to take a chance. Got to. All right. Patriots and Jets. What you got?
Give me the Patriots. I think defensively they're going to eat them alive. They had success with them last year. I think the game plan is literally going to be we're going to double team Garrett Wilson, and we are going to blitz Zach Wilson every snap of the game. And if we're going to lose, we're going to lose because Zach Wilson beat us. And I think Bill Belichick can live with that if that's how they lose. And then I think the Patriots offense, it's not like high scoring at all, but they have been able to move the ball very well so far this year.
Yes.
And I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but they are going to be in every game they play because I think their defense is good and I think their offense is much improved. Um, and I think the mismatch between Bill Belichick and Nathaniel Hackett, and then the O line, and then with Rodgers and Zach Wilson, I think I'm taking the Pats here.
Yeah, same here. I'm taking the Pats. The Pats are 0-2, but this is why people can't just look at the record and judge a team based off that, because they played two solid football teams the first 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
The Eagles and the Dolphins, and they lost by one possession to both teams. So I got to take that in consideration. And the Jets, I was praying, hoping that Zach could just don't do Zach things. You know what I'm saying? Just take care of the football and just
I mean, he looked better, but it's just like
yeah.
sooner or later, it's gonna have you guys just gonna. I mean, that's a tough defense to play against, and I
Oh,
think
no
I just
doubt.
like even Rodgers would have made a big difference, but I still think that would be like that defense still would have got after him, and he would have made more throws. Like, don't get that twisted. But I mean, that pass rush against that O line, that was
Yeah, it wasn't a chance. Um, and Zach, man, I don't know how to say this. You're just not a starting quarterback right now.
nope.
Okay, maybe a couple more years under A Rod, and it can help you a lot. You know what I'm saying? You can get to that next level. But right now, you're just not. This is why the Jets panicked this offseason and went and got Aaron Rodgers, somebody that was like 90% retired, right? Somebody who's going on 40 years old. They panic. I mean, of course, Aaron Rodgers is the better option, like no doubt about it. But they drafted you number 2 overall. You didn't pan out, and you're not showing us any promise. That's why we got Aaron Rodgers. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots in this one. I think they just win this game because they feel like they could have won the first 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Now you're in a matchup where you're favored. So go and handle business, right? The Patriots are not a team that you can just walk all over. So I'm gonna go Patriots. Bills and Commanders. Who you got?
I got the Bills here. I think the O line for the Commanders are going to struggle against the Bills defense. And I just think the Bills get it done. I think the Commanders secondary isn't that great, and their O line is not good. And I think that's two big mismatches for them against the Buffalo this week.
Yeah, this is a little frisky matchup. You know what I'm saying? I like the feel of this. What's the number one formula to slowing down or beating a elite QB? It's pass rush, right? That's what and the Commanders D line is no joke. I'm saying
No,
Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. This defensive line is nice, and it's going to help them in this game. But I think I'm just going to go with the better overall team here with the Bills. I know I set you up. You thought I was going with the Commanders. I'm gonna go with the Bills here, man. I got to play it safe. All right, I can't afford to pick any more stupid picks like I did last week with the Jets and the Cowboys. Next, we got your beloved Texans, your injured Texans against the Jacksonville Jaguars that let me down next week. Who you got? I
yeah.
mean, last week, sorry.
Move on.
You say you got who?
Jaguars.
There's no explanation.
We're too banged up. We don't have a legit shot to win this game. The only way we win is if the Jaguars lose it.
Yeah, and it's gonna take a lot for them to lose it, right?
Yep.
Not throwing shade, just
No,
calling out.
we did all our our whole line's pretty much gone, and our best players on defense other than Will Anderson aren't even playing. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take the Jaguars too, man. It's okay, Logan. Y'all, the future is bright in H Town. I promise you. Okay, just hang in there, all right. Colts and Ravens. Who you got?
I got the Ravens. I don't think Anthony Richardson's playing, and even if he was, I think the Ravens are really good this year. Not high on the Colts D. I think the Ravens get after him and win this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ravens too. I think this is just it is outmatched. No, and with Anthony Richardson, I think there was a huge underdog. Without him, they're even bigger underdog. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Ravens on this one. Next, we got the Panthers and the Seahawks. Bryce Young is not playing, by the way.
Seattle.
Seattle, yeah, Seattle. This is why I told you, man. There's not a lot of upsets this week you can pick. I think the it's just two favorites on one side. You know what I'm saying? There's not anything you can look at and say, okay, they can win because of this. Like the Commanders, I brought up a really good point, but I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it here either. I'm going to Seahawks. The Chiefs and the Bears.
Chiefs. Next one.
Man, look, you're supposed to give the audience a reason why you're picking these teams. You can't just be
Okay.
picking.
I think the Chiefs are going to win because the Bears defense sucks, and I think the Chiefs are also going to win because the Bears offense sucks, and I think the Chiefs good offense and a good defense, and they have Patrick Mahomes too. So
Okay, y'all heard the man. The Bears just suck all around. It's
Yeah,
over.
yeah, that's tough. They spend all that money in free agency, and they make those trades draft day and get DJ Moore, and they're still that bad.
Hey, Justin Fields, look, man.
I'd rather be a Texans fan than a Bears and a Chargers fan this year. That's all I got
Oh,
to say.
all day, every day. Look, Justin Fields, I don't appreciate what you did the other day, call your coach out. All right, I understand the coaching is not perfect, right? Because I mean, there's only a couple coaches that we can say are close to perfect in this league, right? But I got to play, and it's playing right now, Logan. I didn't show you this play. I'm gonna show you after we finish this video. But it's a play playing right now of Justin Fields missing a wide open target in front of him. Okay, you gonna see the video when it's over. I just remember just now that I had this video. But come on, Justin. Like you can't do this and then blame coaching. Like you can't, you just can't do it. All right, play better. I understand they're not using your legs like they should be. You know, you should be running the ball a lot more. You should have more design runs. But come on, man, do better. That's all I gotta say. We're not expecting you to win games, but just keep showing us that you're a starting caliber quarterback. That's all. Like last year, you showed us that you can start in this league. This year, I expected a jump. Right now, you're jumping back. Like, come on, man, just get together. Um, Cowboys and Cardinals. Did you see Joshua Dobbs last week?
Yeah, I'm picking the Cowboys here.
Man, give me the Cowboys too, man. Logan, you are terrible, man. You are terrible. 50-50. Come on, Logan. Please explain to the world why this game should not be 50-50. The Steelers and the Raiders. Come on, preach.
The Raiders don't have a good offensive line and don't have a good secondary. I think the
Mm-hmm.
Steelers. I think it's probably going to be the best the Steelers offense have looked so far this year, and I think that D line is going to get after Jimmy Garoppolo.
Thank you. They're going to feast on Jimmy Garoppolo. Look, man, 50-50. Hey, if you're a betting man, okay, go ahead and just take Steelers. All right. I'm just asking you to do that because this is crazy. This is a little disrespectful if you ask me. 50-50 against Jimmy G? Come on. You see what we did to Deshaun Watson? You don't think we're going to do it to this man, too? The disrespect is so real. Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're both 2-0, Logan. They're both 2-0.
I think that D line gets after Baker, and I think the Eagles going to win this one.
Yeah, try to bait them, y'all. It didn't work. I'm gonna go with the Eagles too. All right, this is once again one of them games, just like last night with the Giants and the 49ers, where you're just not better than that team. You know what I'm saying? There's a formula to beat. Really, the formula to beating the Eagles and the 49ers. I don't know what it is, honestly, right? Because defensively, you can't run the ball against that defense, and you can't pass the ball against that defense because they're pass rush. Like, how do you beat that team? The Eagles, they're a little weaker in the back end, right? But up front, they still have that ability to get after the quarterback. So, Baker, you're gonna struggle. It's gonna be your reality check right here. You're 2-0, living the life right now in Tampa, but it's your reality check, buddy. Then we got what to me is gonna be a pretty good game. We got the Rams and the Bengals. Who you got?
I think if Joe Burrow plays, they win this one. I think if he doesn't, I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I think it comes down to that too. It
So
comes
I
down
don't.
to
I think the answer right now.
yeah,
But I think it's between those two. And for the sake of if he does play, I'm picking the Bengals right now because I think he's gonna play. I mean, we don't know, but I think
yeah.
it comes.
Yeah, I got you. If he doesn't play, it's definitely a Rams win. But if he does play, man, once again, this is a team that's 0-2. They can't afford to go 0-3. I mean, only because of the rest of the conference. You know what I'm saying? Last year they started 1-2, and we said no. They started 0-2 last year, right? I think everybody hit the panic button with the Bengals, right? I'm not gonna do it, but if they go 0-3, that's a different animal. People got to realize the first two losses was against the Browns and the Ravens. That's divisional matchups. Those are the most important matchups. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go with I'm starting to like that Puka receiver from the Rams. I'm starting to like him. I'm starting to hop on the bandwagon. He like a little mini Cooper Cup out there. I'm gonna go with the Rams, even if Joe Burrow plays. I'm
Okay.
gonna do it. I'm gonna be bold about it. But that's it for our picks, y'all, and that is unfortunately it for our episode for today. So once again, like I said the other day, man, the football season is something that you have to really take in. You know what I'm saying? You have to enjoy it because when it's gone, and it takes a long time for it to come back. You know what I'm saying? So we're already. I feel like we're already in week 3, right? Like it's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, when week 1 comes around, after the first week of games, you're just waiting for week 2, right? We're already at week 3.
Yeah.
So it's starting to pick up. Next thing you know, it's gonna be a week 9,
Yep.
right in the playoffs. So just enjoy it, man. And we out. Anything you want to say?
All good.
No, you good? All right, man. Your boy Logan and your boy J Best is out. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Enjoy football, and we'll see y'all next week.